Hello, my name is Glenn Dyer, and you are watching a Dyer-Situation. Today I'm seeing Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. Believe it or not, I have actually heard of this before. My sister was really into the book. She was first really into Pride and Prejudice, the book, and the movie, starring what's-his-face, and so she bought the book as well, the Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, because she's also into zombies. Yeah, I tried to read it because I thought it would be kind of fun, but it's almost too, once again, I was a kid, so I have no idea what its actual quality is. This is just my kid mind reading it, but it seemed almost too much like a parody, to the point where it was honestly parodying the style of Jane Eyre's writing, and thus I had trouble understanding what the hell was going on, because I was a kid and I got bored pretty easily. This is long before I took the drudging task of reading all of Les Miserables, so I'm sure Jane Eyre is much easier. But, yeah, so not sure what how I'm gonna feel about this movie. Maybe it's going to also be maybe it's gonna be parodiizing the movie that came out a while ago, but you know, with zombies included. Maybe. I don't know. All I know is that I don't have super high hopes for at least the zombie aspect, because this thing is only PG-13. Makes sense. I think the original Pride and Prejudice is only, it's probably not rated R anyway, but still. Yeah, so just so you know, exactly where I'm coming from. Not a fan of, well, I shouldn't say I'm not a fan. I'm not super familiar with the exact details of this story, or anything like that, so I'm just purely gonna judge it how it is as a standalone film. Does it work? And my impression so far, just judging from little clues I've seen, is probably no. But, I don't know. Yeah, hold on, just give me a second. I'm going to see what the rating for the original Pride and Prejudice is. Version of Bridget Jones's Diary? What? Oh, there's a bunch of Pride and Prejudice movies. Or is the one I'm thinking of? Jesus Christ, there's so many. 2001, 2005. Okay, so maybe it's not based on on that. Let me just look up a random one. One from 2003. Oh, that was PG. Okay, so yeah, not super high hopes for any action or anything. I'm guessing just guessing as a general opinion, it's probably just going to be a bunch of stupid Jane Eyre references that I'm not going to get. So yeah, let's see how it is. This poor movie. It didn't even have a chance. I mean, its entire basis for comedy was that you'd find the shift between extreme violence and Jane Eyre style romance jarring and comedic, but it's so poorly written that it doesn't work at all, and it's really kind of embarrassing. And also they have to keep it PG-13, so none of the violence is actually very violent. They hit each other a lot, but nothing happens. And it just baffles me. I can understand that pretty much the only audience you'll expect to have is stupid teenagers, so whatever, but, if you have to do that, then why write in scenes where some dude gets his head stomped in, or somebody gets their fucking head chopped off in the opening scene? Because you can't film that, and it looks terrible. And so the whole movie suffers because of it, and, yeah. I don't know, most of the time I was just kind of confused. Maybe it would be a little better if I was familiar with the story of Pride and Prejudice, but somehow I doubt it. This is, for one thing, once again, I haven't read any Jane Eyre novels, but I bet she's a better writer than this. All of the quote-unquote romantic scenes were dry and meaningless. It's such awful dialogue that doesn't progress character or story or anything. It's hard for me to cite it, but, like, it feels like it was written by someone who maybe read a Jane Eyre novel once and decided that I can do that. And it just comes across so bad. This whole idea feels like some sort of glorified fan fiction, which I think it was, because it managed to get printed in novel form, and then put into a movie that sucks. All of the actors in this have no idea how to read that kind of dialogue as well, so it's like double bad. Except for Matt Smith. Matt Smith is probably the best actor in this, and I don't know, I think that's just because he's used to working with really bad writers, and he can just have fun with it no matter what. It's what I kind of admire about him. He lived through the worst years of Doctor Who, but he still had a smile on his face. What a trooper. Yeah. Because of its dual nature, it feels like there's two stories going on at the same time. One of them is boring, and the other one is incredibly stupid. It's up for you to decide which is which, I suppose. And then there's annoying things, like the zombies themselves. They aren't like any other zombie ever. Which is funny because these ones are actually called zombies instead of like walkers or the undead or the things. Like how many writers like to call them. No, they're called zombies, which is refreshing. But here's the thing. Apparently you get infected by a bite, the same as normal. But they don't just feast for flesh, they specifically yearn for brains. And the more brains they eat, the more zombie-like they get. I can understand that, to a point. And, like, they use that as plot points and stuff. Like, there's a cult of people who eat pig brains to keep their humanity around and stuff. And, alright. Kind of makes sense, but then there's how they look. The thing is, the whole concept with these zombies is that they can fit in with normal humans, and you don't know that they're zombies. I'm pretty sure that's the idea, especially from the opening scene when he goes in hunting one and it looks like a regular guy, until he finds it, in which case suddenly his eyes are all dilated and he looks like, which is just bad continuity. It felt like the opening of Paranorman in that sense. But, I thought that was the idea, except most of the zombies have the rotten flesh look to them. And in fact, one zombie, apparently in the last scene it was just an ordinary person, and then the next, half of its face is rotted off. They do know how decomposition works, right? Like, your skin tone starts to look different. It starts to yellow and thin out and stuff, like, before you start rotting in very specific areas. It looked to me like the way they're written, these zombies would, for the most part, look like people. But some higher level producer was like, oh, you can't have a zombie movie without zombies. No, they got to look like zombies. Even then, I can't totally buy it, because I'm pretty sure that that Pride and Prejudice and Zombies novel came with pictures, and the pictures made them look like normal zombies. So, yeah, morons. So yeah, apparently that's a thing, that their flesh just randomly rots in certain areas, so you know that they're zombies, right? Even then, there's a twist at the end of the movie. I'm not going to give it away, even though I really should, because nobody should watch this, but there's a twist given at the end of the movie that breaks the laws of this, so you can already kind of guess. It breaks the laws of the fact that you have random bits of flesh rotting on that person, and I still saw it coming, like, after a third of the way into the movie. Just because the writing was so obvious that even something that totally breaks the movie's logic, I could see happening. So, yeah. Yeah, I really don't see much point in watching this. I think teenagers would be bored. I think that zombie movie lovers would be confused. People who like the book, I have no idea. But, yeah, this just isn't a good movie. So, yeah, and until next time, I'm Glenn Dyer, and you have been watching A Dire Situation.